Hello, welcome. My name is Manuel from Kata Studios. Today we're going to learn how to add a Christmas feel to your client's website on Reload. As you can see from here, we're having the logo itself showing on Reload. Look at that very closely. You see, very beautiful. And the same applies to the body ng. Let's still see this out. You see, we have the same feel over here. So this could stay till the end of December, and that makes more sense. You can also make the one for Easter. We had some eggs around the logo at the background. There are many instances where you use this in different ceremonies, okay? Depending on what your client wants. You need to make requests. Some persons don't do Christmas. So make the requests, get to know from your client before you proceed with this practice, okay? And for this, we'll be using the Lofty loader. I have made a tutorial on this, and the link will be in the description below. If you have not watched that video on how to make the Lofty loader, the one that loaded these logos right now and slide it up, you need to watch that video in the description below first before you proceed with this one. I'm not going to teach how to do that. What I'm going straight to do is how to actually prepare this logo and get it ready for the use, okay? And also show you the tricks or tactics on how to actually go around. So if you have not watched that video, you can pause this one, go over, watch that one. When you're done, you come back here, you can practice with us. The next one I would like us to see is the one that we added in the header, okay? And that is for Koenig store. So he's having a Christmas promo, and we did some very nice hero section for him. As you can see from the top left corner, you see the logo itself. It does have a reload, but the logo itself, he don't like the reload. So we actually added the logo by the heart by the left side of the logo. So if you actually want things you need here is the logo of the client and this hat. And to get this hat, all you need to do is to head over to freepik.com and search for Christmas hats, okay? Christmas hats, and you will see many of them like this. You download the PNG version of the Christmas hat and you are good to go. So we don't need to waste, just search for it here. We don't need to waste much time here. All we need to do is to come over to this part. All you need to do is click on the client logo and download the file, okay? Once we got the file, we now head over to Photoshop, and we also downloaded the hat, which is this one, I assume. So we're going to copy this, and based on the client logo size, what we need to do here is to just drag in the client logo to the top side of Photoshop, not inside, to the top side of Photoshop. So with that, we retain the aspect ratio of that particular logo. So reduce it a little, push it to the left a little, because we'll be putting the hat by the right side. Hit on enter and paste this. Fine. You see? Then we reduce the size a little. We can curve it to match the ratio of that particular area. Reduce it a little more. We curve it a little and we pull it down. Now, the idea for this is, if you look very closely, we are trying to make sure that this edge actually matches perfectly well with the edge of the icon, and this other edge matches perfectly. We are not doing this. If you do this, there is no effect. It doesn't feel like it's lapping on this logo. So to make it look more real, we have to lap it in, and you push it out, you see you're going to have this problem. You see, so you have to push it in to the extent that the top side matches to the edge of this and the bottom part matches with the edge of this. You can rotate it a little more if you want to. It's just based on your preference. Based on your preference, just a little more, and we are good to go. Perfect. So now we have done with that. We don't just need to export it. If we export it, things will be left aligned. All you need to do now is to select everything, make sure everything is centered, expand it so that it can consume all of the spaces available in this particular layout. Okay, something like this is perfectly okay. Make sure the space beneath is equal to the space above, but make sure left and right is very equal. There are some logos that are longer than the width, so make sure the top side is equal and the left and right side is also equal, okay? But in most cases we might need this to be in a square, but I will still bring a lesson on that with Bobby's Media logo type. So we hit on enter and make sure that there is no background. That's why I say import this. If you are using the logo you've made for the client, import it directly, because if you create a background, you may need to remove the background. And to remove a background, in case we have a background like this, okay, we have a background like this that has a color like this, all you need to do is to hit on the eye icon, remove the background from there. Then you click on Control Alternative and Save. From there, you save as PNG, then name it whatever you want to name it and hit on Save. Now, you will need to save the client main logo again in case there are many products they may be uploading by then. So whenever you want to replace this, easier for you to do. So now we are done with that. What you need to do is to head over to our plugin. And remember, I talked about the tool which we are going to be using earlier on before now. Before we proceed with that, let's open Bobby's Media while it loads in the background. So now we scroll down, you see this Lofty Loader. That's the plugin you need. All you need to do is to click on Settings. Anyway, if you have not watched the video, you can still click on the Lofty Loader, install it, and then click on Settings. It will put you in here, but there are more other things you need to do that won't be covered in this particular lesson. Okay, so what you need to do is click on the loader itself. Already you have chosen an image. If you have not chosen an image, you will see something like this, which doesn't make any sense. So since we've chosen an image, we are going to actually use the image version of the Lofty Loader. Okay, so for this, click on the image itself, and let's minimize this and drag this one in here and paste it here. So wait a moment so that will populate. So while it populates, we are going to actually extract Bobby's Media logo itself. Click on the media area. So while this populates, it has populated, and we hit on save. So let's see, this still not loaded very quickly. So choose file. Perfect. Let's see the size that this is taking. Just give it a moment. Give it a moment. It's preloading. It's populating. I mean, very good. Self-populated, and we are good to go. Okay. See the size. You can increase or decrease the size from here. If we make it 280, you see how large that's going to look like. Let's go to Bobby's Media and find Bobby's Media Singularity logo. Let's load more. Let's give it a moment. We need to load more. I'm just looking for Bobby's Media logo icon itself, because I think that's what we used for Bobby's Media website itself. So you see, if we make the size 280 pixels, you see how large it is. That's too large. We don't need it to be very large. Now, different logo size with different size of image width. There are logos that their widths are wider. You will use a larger scale here. If an image is rectangular size, you use a larger scale. If an image is vertical size, you use a smaller scale. I'm going to show you that with Bobby's Media right now. That's why I wanted to make 2 instances, so it's easier for us to actually understand. So we are going to pick Bobby's Media logo and we download it from here. As you can see already, Bobby's Media is squared. Now that's one we have done. We are going to come back to this, and we have published already. Okay, we are going to come back and reload this so you can feel it, but we're going to do it alongside with Bobby's Media. So click on new, and we are going to create a new layout. This one we are going to call it 2000 times 2000. But remember what I told you before, if you don't want to do that, just drag this and pull it in here, so you can still retain the file size. Okay, we reduce this a little more. We shift it to the left, and we Control V. We paste the content. So here we are going to pull it above this side. Let's see. Okay, let's increase this a little more, and let's pull it here. Perfect. You know what I'm trying to avoid? I'm trying to avoid us making the logo smaller and still making it a little irrelevant. Because if you make it smaller and plug it in here, the top side of this Bobby's Media will be showing, and we don't want that. So we just try to collide it with here, but I don't like that space that shows up at the bottom part here. But still, we can just manage it for the lesson sake. Just rotate this a little more. Remember the rule of edge. So make sure the edge actually touches that part. And I think this is cool. The left and the right equal, the top and the bottom almost equal. We have to make it equal now. Okay, top and the bottom padding equal, left and right equal. So the next thing, we save as PNG and we hit on OK, and we are good to go. So for Bobby's Media, we need to also do the same thing. We are gonna head over to let's go back to the plugins. Okay, and we locate the Lofty Loader. Look at the Lofty Loader. So click on settings. It even need an update, but then you're gonna come back to that. So since this is done, you can just hit on exit. And once you have uploaded that product, that image, you may need to upload the image again. That image we just downloaded, so that you don't need to go through the stress of searching where the image is on January to switch that. Because on January, you need to replace this lofty loader with the main logo. You understand that? Let's do that again. Perfect. So that is just it about this. When we save it, you're going to see the size Bobby's Media is taking. Let's choose image. You see Bobby's Media is taking 100 and it works perfectly well. But Samara Catherine is taking 180 and it's still the same size with Bobby's Media. Almost the same size. Okay, let's make this 150 and see what size that's gonna pull. Perfect. You see, it's larger. Even at 150, it's larger than Samara Catherine. If we make Bobby's Media 180, it's more larger than Samara Catherine. See Samara Catherine, you see Bobby's Media. Wait, let it load the main file. Fine. You see the file it loaded. You see how large that is. See how small this is. So Bobby's Media can stay within 120 pixels. That will make sense. Samara Catherine can maintain 180 to 190 pixels. Bobby's Media can stay at 120 pixels, and that makes a lot of sense. So what we need to do here is publish this and also publish this. So now they are published, we can go to Samara Catherine front end. We refresh the page, and we see that it is loaded with the Christmas feel. This makes more sense. You can send to your client and say, wow, look at what we got for your website. We actually have the Christmas season logo preloader. Perfectly fine. So this is practically it, and this a little detail you add to your client website makes them feel comfortable working with you. These are things that I do for my client that makes it easier for me to close more projects. These are very little details that might not feel like anything to you, but these are powerful tools to get hold of your clients, to clamp them and make sure they stay with you, because they know that nobody remembers them like you do. Nobody cares about them or their business or their brand like you do. Clients are very okay, very comfortable giving in more and more projects to persons who they feel or who they perceive that cares about their brand. No one wants to care about anyone who doesn't care about them. So when you care about your clients, find out some new things to do to make them feel better. When it's Easter, when it's Valentine, I will still show you how to actually apply those different styles. By the way, you already know what to do, but then I'll still show you how to apply those styles and make them make more sense. For the logo side, we can actually fix this. It's very easy to apply the logo here, but then we don't need to do much of a crazy things here because already we have applied it there. If the client permits us to use it in the header, we can then use it because this is what the users will be always seeing. So that's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a like, drop a comment if you have any question about this. And by the way, if you have not subscribed, do that right away because we'll be bringing more extensive Elementor and WordPress and breakdance tutorial in the future. Do have a wonderful day.